Hi there, I'm Suzanne, your friendly Stampin' Up demonstrator in Canada. Welcome to my monthly paper pumpkin alternative video on my YouTube channel and blog. I share 5 alternative ways to use the kit in this video, and I sell the products I feature as well. I hope you enjoy my free video tutorial and would love to see you sign up with me as a Paper Pumpkin subscriber. Visit sunstampin.com for more information. For those of you who don't know, the August 2018 paper pumpkin was called Blissful Blooms. In the kit, they had an advertisement that the next paper pumpkin kit will be Halloween. I always look forward to the Halloween ones because they're usually treat inspired, and I think it's a great way of for my own classes. I don't have kids, but I do classes, and a lot of my attendees will get those lovely Halloween treat holders. All right, so this is what all came in the kit. It's very lovely hand-painted designs. These are laser cut vellum-y leaves. Really cute. So that's what I do. I sort of open up the kit, I take a look at what's inside of it, and then what do I get inspired from? Sometimes I write out what I'm going to do, and sometimes do a sketch, and then sometimes I just wing it. So this card was winging it. Actually, all of the cards in this box, I was winging it. So I fussy cut all the flowers out. I didn't bother with the leaves. Then I ripped apart an envelope. You should be expecting this by now. I rip apart a lot of envelopes. In this case, there is a beautiful silver edged envelope, and you can get these in the holiday catalog. I got some for my pre-order, and so I didn't mind cutting this one apart because I knew I had more. And for those of you that think it's shameful that I cut apart an envelope, you can get more. September 5th, talk to your demonstrator. All right, so I wanted the inside because this is Flirty Flamingo speckles on it. So I did put it on a Flirty Flamingo card base, and then I'm fussing with this. It's like Flirty Flamingo and silver twine, and I'm making a messy nest. And then I'll put that thank you sentiment and laser die cut onto my messy nest, and you can see I fuss with that. And actually it's so funny because I fuss with it and then you hardly see it in the end design. I should have had more of it coming out the bottom and not on the top, but you know what, if I was to do this card again, that's what I would do. Sometimes, you just learn from your mistakes. So you can see that I actually don't use the Stampin' Spot, nor do I use the glue dots that come in the kit. I use my own big stamp, my big ink pad, and my glue dots from my roll, just because I like to use those glue dots. Well, they're sometimes a little bit more difficult to use just in general. I do keep them around though, but I like my own stash. So, okay, you can see what I'm doing here. I'm just arranging the flowers. Now I'm adding the leaves, and this kit was definitely not using any other products. So it's just what the kit has to offer. So I am trying to do that as much as I can, but sometimes I will add a couple extra ink pads or a couple extra card bases like this one. I did notice that the white card stock that comes in the paper pumpkin kit is a different color than our Whisper white card stock. So I'm careful to make sure that my whites match. I know that sounds funny, right? You'll see what I mean in a minute. Okay, so here's another envelope, but I'm ripping it apart. And by the way, the envelopes in the holiday catalog don't have this flirty flamingo speckles on the inside. They're just plain, FYI. So I'm cutting all the silver parts off. So now here's my big Blackberry Bliss ink pad, and there's a little heart image in the stamp set. So I bet you it's probably going to get ignored. So I felt bad for this little heart stamp. And so I'm doing like second and third generational stamping. For those of you who like stamping, this is a card for you. All right, so, and that was on a piece of Whisper white. So now I'm just taking my glue. Liquid glue is best for this. It would be even better if you had liquid glue in like a little pen. That would be awesome because these little strips are pretty small. And I'm putting glue on them and then adhering them. I don't have a plan, FYI. Like I said, I'm just going with what I think looks good. And I liked the silver bling on this. I like that the hearts were only on the one side. I did add a Blackberry Bliss card. It's like a matte. It's not the full card. And just glued that piece. The one thing I like about glue is that you're able to adhere things really nicely and evenly. You get that few seconds to wiggle it into place. So stamp the thank you and another heart, added dimensionals to that silver lined sentiment piece. Then here I'm cheating. You can't get this card yet, but this is the silver lined cards that go with the silver lined envelopes. So you will be able to get this September 5th. Don't get mad. You can get them in the holiday catalog. Get in touch with your demonstrator. And if you're in Canada, get in touch with me and we can order you some. And I think they're just brilliant. If you want to do the same exact card, you could have put a piece of silver foil in behind. So there is a get around. All right, for my second card, here I have one of the card bases, and I just made a little X with my craft knife, and then with my scissors cut a big hole, and now I'm fussy cutting around the flowers on the inside. So the thing is, when I'm looking for alternatives, I have to kind of think outside the box, and sometimes it requires fussy cutting because you're not going to get a die that's going to match with your paper pumpkin. And everybody should be somewhat proficient in fussy cutting because, you know, we were in arts and crafts for years before this. So sometimes people like fussy cutting and sometimes they don't, in other words. Okay, so I put glue on the inside, and then I did cut apart another envelope and use the speckled side, so it's coming through. Instead of just plain white, it's now speckly. I was thinking that this could have been a shaker card too, but I didn't have any guts for the shaker card. Okay, so the sentiment says thank you. And then what I'm doing here is, this is the Flirty Flamingo and Silver Baker's Twine. And I was going to put a bow on it, but then I thought, you know, I'm going to pull these apart. And so I get these like super curly silver, I don't know how to explain it, antennae. Antennae. Oh, I watched too much science fiction. Okay, anyway, there's my antennae card. Just something different, right? Maybe I didn't really like the placement of the antennae, but I could fuss with it and make it work. Okay, so this one you're going to hate me for. So this is a 3D project. So here I have my card base. I put it in my trimmer and I'm cutting off 3/4 of an inch. Then I'm moving that center crease or score line to the 3/4 mark. And I am basically just double checking, making sure that that score line is at the 3/4 mark. I'm going to remove my blade. I'm going to score down. Okay, so now I'm going to score at 3/4 of an inch on all 4 sides. Super easy. I'm doing this in real time so that we slowed down and I explained it all. It's basically 3/4 of an inch everywhere, but you have to remember to cut 3/4 of an inch off of the white side. Okay. All right, now speeding it up with my bone folder, I am creasing my score lines. Then I have my scissors here. I'm going up on the score line and I'm wedging out. So up on the score line, wedging in, wedging in. Then up on the score line, wedge, wedge. So the wedging actually helps for the box to close nicely and you don't get any overhang and you can wiggle it into shape a little bit easier. So that's what you should have. Now, I'm taking a dry adhesive. Glue takes too long, and it's my preference, but I'm hoarding this is my last roll of fast fuse, so I'm very sad. Okay, so now I'm putting the box together. You put the tab in and you bring the side up. You bring the tab in, bring the side up. So the middle tabs are going to go on the base of the box or the white part. And it's just all very simple. This is a really easy build. And folding over, fold that little tab over, close the side. Same with the other side. Now, there's one thing that I don't like about this kind of a build is that I have these little things on either side and they kind of flap out and it drives me nuts. So I'm just going to reopen the box. I'm going to snip a little snip, about as long as the blade, scissor blade. So then when I close the box up, it doesn't whap out on me. Do you know what I mean? Okay, so I made a little box real quick. Thinking of you stamped on that sentiment piece right in the center. And then I'm going to take that baker's twine and sort of squiggle it under the thinking of you sentiment, wrap it around, tie a sweet little bow, and there you have my very first paper pumpkin 3D project. I wanted to make it super simple, and I think I hit it on the mark. This would be awesome for like a Mother's Day gift, or say, you know, your, I don't know, earrings, bracelet. It's big, gift card. So yeah, there you go. I was all impressed with myself. I had to look at it a couple of times. I really like that baker's twine. I wonder if it's in the catalog or not. Somebody will tell me. All right, so probably my favorite card out of the bunch. I have added 2 colors. So one is Mango Melody and the other is Flirty Flamingo. Okay, so I've inked up the flower stamp, and then with my sponge dauber, I have inked up with Blackberry Bliss, or in this case, it was Mango Melody and then Flirty Flamingo. So I'm making a bouquet of flowers. So here's that little heart that was in the stamp set. I'm going to put 3 together to make a really unique looking flower. So, and I kind of wipe it off in between before I go into colors and such. And it takes a bit of time getting the ink on, but at least you have 2-toned flowers. So they're interesting. They're not just, you know, flat. And sometimes I stamp on the side, off the card. It makes it look fuller. And now that you've seen the technique, I'm going to speed up here. I've cut some bits and pieces out. Here is me, I'm triple stamping off and then adding some extra dimension, extra colors, and just trying to use, what I have. So Blackberry Bush was stamped off a couple of times, and I wanted to fill the top left corner and the bottom right corner. All right, so, and we will have a close-up here shortly, and I will show you how, because right now it looks like a hot mess, right? It comes together. I promise you, it comes together right now. I'm using Blackberry Bliss with the center of these flowers. And so the 3 heart flowers got the biggest center, and the smallest center went with the bigger flowers. You see how it's coming together? They actually look like flowers now. They don't look like random weird stampings. So I love this card. All right, so I have used the sentiment. It says, "The loss is immeasurable, but so is the love left behind." It's a nice sentiment for sure. Sympathy. All right, so here is my Flirty Flamingo twine. I've wrapped it around 3 times, cutting off the excess, and then I'm going to twist this and gather it in the center with a small knot. Like I just tied it, I think, just once, not even a knot. I didn't want a lot of bulk, but I wanted the 3 strings above and below. Cutting off the excess, and I put dimensionals on the back of this piece and adhered it to a Whisper White thick card base, and then put this sentiment on the card, folded it down, and those are my cards for today. I have stills coming up, and you are welcome to come to my Facebook page, and the link is in the description below for more still shots. Okay, so thanks so much for joining me, and I will see you again next month for another paper pumpkin alternative video. Bye. Hey, thanks for sticking around to the end of the video. On screen are 2 more videos for inspiration. Click on the maple leaf for my blog, or click on me to subscribe to my channel. Thanks again for watching.